Welcome back for another deep dive.
Yeah.
Today, we're tackling this idea of poverty programming.
Interesting.
And we're going to be using insights from Myron Golden's YouTube video.
Okay.
How to finally be free from poverty. And, you might be thinking, programming.
Right.
What does that even mean? Well, that's exactly what we're here to unpack today.
Yeah, let's get into it.
We're going to be exploring what this programming is.
Okay.
How it might be subtly shaping your financial life. And most importantly, Golden strategies for breaking free from it.
Okay, so Golden argues that poverty is at its core a mindset.
Okay.
It's a programming that influences your beliefs and behaviors around money.
Beliefs and behavior.
You're often operating below the level of your conscious awareness.
Wow.
So you might not even realize.
It's hidden.
It's hidden.
It's like having a hidden script running in the back of your mind. That's telling you how to think and act when it comes to finances.
Yeah.
Without you even realizing it.
And what's even more intriguing is that Golden compares different mindsets to illustrate how this programming plays out in real life.
So give me some examples.
Okay, so he describes the poor mindset as one where money is only seen as a way to pay bills.
Okay, so you're just constantly
playing catch up. Yeah.
Barely keeping your head above water.
Right.
Living paycheck to paycheck.
And then there's the middle class mindset.
Okay.
And this is where people focus on buying things, often things they can't truly afford, just to keep up with a certain lifestyle.
Yeah.
They're obsessed with maintaining good credit so they can buy even more.
Oh, so they're stuck.
Yeah, they're on a treadmill, always striving for the next purchase, but never really getting ahead.
Okay, I see that.
Now contrast that with the rich mindset.
Okay.
Where money is seen as a tool for generating more money.
Okay.
It's about investment, growth, and leveraging resources to build wealth rather than just spending it.
So it's not just about how much money you have.
Right.
It's how you view and utilize that money.
Exactly.
That's really interesting.
Yeah, and he doesn't just present this as an abstract concept.
Oh.
He uses a powerful biblical analogy to drive his point home.
Okay, I like a good analogy.
Comparing escaping poverty to a deer evading a hunter or a bird breaking free from a trap.
Wow.
Yeah. He says you need a vehement hatred for poverty to truly break free.
Vehement hatred, that's strong.
It is strong.
Yeah.
But if you think about it, if you're not truly motivated to change your situation, you're likely to stay stuck.
Okay, I see his point.
And he doesn't just talk the talk.
Right.
He shares his own compelling personal story of overcoming financial struggles.
Oh, wow.
Which really brings this idea to life.
He's been there.
He's been there.
He's been in the trap.
Yeah, he speaks about the intense stress, the feeling of being trapped, and the heartbreak of not being able to provide for loved ones.
Yeah, that's real.
It's a raw and honest account that I think resonates with many people who've experienced those same feelings of financial insecurity and that deep yearning for a better life.
Yeah, for sure.
And so Golden argues that this burning desire, this vehement hatred for poverty, is essential fuel for the journey out of the trap.
So you need that fire.
You need that fire.
To break free.
Exactly.
Now, to help us understand the dynamics of this trap, he introduces the concept of the partners of poverty. And these aren't just financial concepts, but deeply ingrained behaviors that, according to Golden, can keep you stuck in a cycle of scarcity.
Yeah, it's like bad habits.
Bad habits.
That hold you back.
Okay, so what are some of these partners of poverty?
Well, he starts with sleeper laziness.
Sleeper laziness.
Which he suggests can drain your motivation and rob you of the energy needed to pursue your goals.
Okay, I can see that.
Have you ever found yourself choosing to binge watch a show or scroll through social media when you could be working on a side hustle or learning a new skill?
Oh, absolutely. I think we've all been there.
We've all been there.
It's so easy to fall into those patterns of procrastination.
Yeah.
And instant gratification.
Exactly. And Golden argues that this ties directly into his next partner, which is gluttony.
Gluttony.
Now, it's not just about overeating.
Okay.
It's about overindulging in anything that depletes your resources, be it time, energy, or money.
So it's about understanding how those choices might be hindering your progress rather than fueling it.
Exactly.
And it makes you think about how these seemingly unrelated behaviors might actually be contributing to a larger pattern of financial stagnation.
Precisely.
Okay.
And then he brings up drunkenness.
Drunkenness.
which might seem like an unexpected addition to this list.
Yeah, that's a little different.
It is, but Golden draws a connection between financial stress and substance abuse.
Oh, okay.
Highlighting how people often turn to these coping mechanisms when they feel overwhelmed or trapped.
Yeah, when you're feeling that pressure.
Yeah, and it's a sensitive topic, but it does shed light on the complex ways that our financial well-being is intertwined with our emotional and mental state.
Yeah, it's all connected.
It's all connected.
It's a reminder that sometimes the things we're struggling with go deeper than just our bank accounts.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And then Golden presents a point that might be the most thought-provoking of all.
Okay, hit me with it.
The idea that evil can contribute to poverty.
Evil now.
I know it's
Before you jump to conclusions.
Right.
He's not saying that poor people are evil.
No, not at all.
Okay.
He suggests that societies where injustice, corruption, and exploitation are rampant tend to be economically disadvantaged.
So it's more about the
overall
systems and behaviors within a society rather than judging individuals based on their financial status.
Precisely.
Okay.
And this is where his argument starts to get really interesting.
Okay.
He's essentially saying that there's a deeper connection between morality and economic prosperity, both on an individual and societal level.
Wow. Okay, so
It's deep.
that's a lot to unpack there.
Yeah, it is.
We've got these partners of poverty
Yeah.
holding us back.
Right.
So what are the forces that can propel us forward?
Well, that's where Golden's partners of prosperity come in.
Okay.
The habits and mindsets that he believes can help you break free and build a life of abundance.
Okay, I'm ready to hear about these partners.
All right, we're going to dive into that in part 2 of our deep dive.
Okay, sounds good.
I'm excited.
Yeah, me too. All right, we'll see you back here for part 2.
See you then. So you're ready to explore these partners of prosperity?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. Golden kicks things off with a principle that might sound pretty familiar.
Okay.
Diligence.
Diligence, okay.
He's a firm believer in the power of hard work, but with a specific twist.
Okay, what's the twist?
It's not just about putting in the hours.
Right.
It's about channeling that effort in the right direction.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I can imagine working hard at something you hate or that just doesn't utilize your strengths might not be the most effective strategy.
Exactly. Golden emphasizes aligning your work with your passion and skills, finding that sweet spot where your talents can truly shine.
I like that.
He believes that when you're genuinely engaged in what you're doing, the effort feels less like a burden and more like a fulfilling pursuit.
Yeah, it's not really work then.
Right, exactly.
If you love it.
So it's about finding that flow state where work feels almost effortless because you're so invested in it.
I can definitely relate to that.
Yeah, and it's interesting how he connects diligence to his next partner,
All right.
service.
It's
It's not just about working hard for yourself.
Uh-huh.
It's about using that work to make a positive impact on others.
Okay, so it's about providing value.
That's a key point. Golden argues that true wealth comes from providing value, from solving problems and meeting needs.
So you're contributing to something bigger than yourself.
Exactly. It's this outward focus, this desire to contribute to something bigger than yourself that he sees as a fundamental element of prosperity.
I like that a lot.
And this naturally leads to his strong emphasis on business and entrepreneurship.
Okay.
He's a big advocate for people taking ownership of their financial destinies by creating their own ventures.
Being your own boss.
Right. He sees entrepreneurship as a powerful vehicle for bringing your skills and passion to the world,
Yeah,
creating something valuable while building your own financial independence.
makes sense.
But he also acknowledges that success in business and in life in general requires more than just hard work and good intentions.
There's got to be something else.
You need that secret ingredient,
Okay, what is it?
wisdom.
Wisdom, okay.
And Golden offers a fascinating breakdown of how to cultivate wisdom, starting with a recognition of ignorance.
Acknowledging what you don't know.
Exactly. He highlights the importance of acknowledging what you don't know.
Uh-huh.
It's about being humble enough to admit that you need to learn and grow.
Love it.
Then comes knowledge,
Okay.
which is the accumulation of information and facts.
Right, so you can read all the books.
But he cautions that knowledge alone isn't enough.
So you could read every business book out there and still not be successful.
Right, you need more than just the facts.
Okay, so what's the missing piece?
Understanding.
I understand.
It's the ability to connect the dots, see the bigger picture, and grasp the deeper meaning behind the information you've gathered.
Oh, so it's not just memorizing facts.
No, it's about truly comprehending them.
It's about moving beyond rote memorization and into a realm of true comprehension.
Exactly.
Okay.
And then finally, you reach the pinnacle,
Okay, the top of the mountain.
wisdom itself.
Wisdom.
Golden defines this as the application of truth. the ability to make sound judgments and decisions based on a deep understanding of principles and a clear vision of your goals.
So it's taking all those steps and putting it all into action.
Right. It's the culmination of acknowledging your ignorance, acquiring knowledge, and developing understanding.
I like it.
And then finally putting it all into action.
No, that makes a lot of sense.
And Golden also makes a distinction between what he calls earthly wisdom and wisdom from above.
Okay, so there's two types of wisdom.
Right. He's saying that true wisdom, the kind that leads to lasting prosperity and fulfillment, comes from aligning yourself with spiritual principles.
Oh, okay, so it's a faith-based approach.
Yeah, and seeking guidance from a higher power.
Interesting.
So it's recognizing that there's a source of knowledge and insight that goes beyond our own limited human understanding.
Okay, I can see that.
And this brings us back to that intriguing connection he made between the Hebrew words for rich and evil.
Yeah, the Asher and Rasha.
Exactly.
I'm still thinking about that one.
Yeah, it's pretty thought-provoking.
Yeah, it initially seemed a bit provocative, but I'm curious to hear how he fleshes out that idea.
Yeah, so it's important to remember that he's not suggesting all wealthy people are evil or that poverty automatically equals goodness.
Right. It's more nuanced than that.
It's much more nuanced than that. He's exploring a much deeper connection between wealth and morality, suggesting that societies where negative forces like greed, injustice, and corruption thrive often experience economic hardship.
So he's not making a moral judgment.
No.
About individuals based on their financial status.
He's more interested in the broader dynamics at play within societies.
Okay.
And it makes you think about where true wealth really originates.
Where does it come from?
Is it simply about accumulating money and possessions?
Right.
Or is there a deeper, more ethical dimension to it?
Right.
He seems to be suggesting that lasting prosperity is rooted in something more profound, something that aligns with a higher purpose.
Okay, so there's a deeper meaning.
Right, and it ties back to his overall message. Escaping the poverty trap is about more than just increasing your income. It's about transforming your mindset, embracing those partners of prosperity.
Okay.
And ultimately creating genuine value for yourself and the world around you.
Yeah, I like that.
That's pretty powerful.
Yeah, that's a powerful takeaway.
But now I'm curious to hear how he applies this to a more personal level.
Yeah, me too. How can someone who's feeling stuck in that poverty trap actually start to implement these ideas?
That's a great question, and one that he addresses directly in his video. In fact, he offers some very specific strategies for shifting your mindset and taking concrete steps toward a more prosperous life.
Okay, I'm definitely intrigued. Let's delve into those strategies in part 3 of our deep dive. All right, so we're back.
Back for more.
We've explored Myron Golden's concept of poverty programming. This idea that your mindset can either trap you in a cycle of scarcity or propel you toward abundance. And we talked about these partners of prosperity.
Right.
They sound great in theory. But how do we actually put them into practice in our daily lives?
Yeah, that's where the rubber meets the road, right?
Exactly.
Golden doesn't shy away from the practical side of things.
Okay.
He actually offers some very specific strategies for rewiring your thinking and creating lasting change.
So give me some actionable steps.
Okay, well, first he emphasizes the importance of surrounding yourself with the right influences.
Okay, so like your peer group.
Yeah, exactly. He encourages you to seek out mentors, connect with successful individuals, and immerse yourself in environments that support your growth.
So it's about being intentional about who you spend your time with, what kind of information you're consuming.
Exactly. If you're constantly surrounded by negativity and scarcity-minded people, it's going to be much harder to break free from those patterns yourself.
Makes sense.
He also stresses the importance of personal development, constantly learning and expanding your skill set.
So never stop learning.
Never stop learning. Remember that step of knowledge on the path to wisdom. Golden encourages you to read books, attend seminars, and invest in your education, both formal and informal.
Always be growing.
Always be growing. And it makes me think about how this ties into his emphasis on entrepreneurship. If you're running your own business,
you gotta stay on top of things.
You have to be constantly adapting and acquiring new knowledge to stay ahead of the curve.
For sure.
And Golden also emphasizes the importance of taking action, even if it's imperfect action.
So just do something.
Just do it. Yeah. He encourages you to start small, experiment, and learn from your mistakes.
So don't be afraid to fail.
Don't be afraid to fail. It's about building momentum and developing a bias towards action.
Okay.
Rather than getting stuck in analysis paralysis.
Just get started.
Just get started.
But he also acknowledges that this journey isn't just about external actions.
Right.
It also requires a deep inner transformation.
Yes. And this is where his emphasis on faith and spirituality comes in.
Okay.
He encourages you to connect with a higher power, to tap into a source of wisdom and guidance that goes beyond your own limited understanding.
That makes sense.
It's about cultivating that inner strength and resilience that can help you navigate challenges and stay committed to your goals, even when things get tough.
So it sounds like it's really about aligning your actions with your beliefs and your values.
Exactly. And it ties back to his concept of vehement hatred for poverty.
Okay.
It's not just about wanting to escape financial hardship.
Right.
It's about having a deep, unwavering commitment to creating a better life for yourself and those you care about.
Powerful stuff.
It's about rejecting the limitations of a scarcity mindset and embracing the possibilities of abundance.
And that brings us back to his point about evil contributing to poverty. If we're trying to create a more prosperous world, both for ourselves and for others, doesn't that require addressing those larger systemic issues as well?
That's a really important question, and while Golden doesn't delve too deeply into the specifics of societal change in this particular video, his message does seem to imply that personal transformation is intricately linked to the well-being of the collective.
So as we improve ourselves, we also contribute to a better world for everyone.
Exactly. It's not just about focusing on our own individual success. It's also about contributing to a world where everyone has the opportunity to thrive.
So maybe that's part of the value we're called to create.
That's a powerful thought, and ultimately I think Golden's message is one of empowerment.
Empowerment.
He's saying that you have the power to change your circumstances, to break free from limiting beliefs, and to create a life of abundance, both financially and spiritually.
That's a really inspiring message.
It is, especially in a world where so many people feel trapped by circumstances beyond their control.
Yeah, it gives you hope.
Yeah, it does. And while his approach may not be for everyone, I think there's a lot of wisdom to be gleaned from his insights.
I agree.
He challenges us to think differently about wealth, to connect it to our values, and to see it as a tool for creating positive change in the world.
Well, this deep dive has given me a lot to think about.
Me too.
Golden's ideas are definitely thought-provoking, and I appreciate how he blends practical strategies with deeper philosophical and spiritual principles.
It's a unique blend that I think speaks to the multifaceted nature of prosperity.
It's not just about money, it's about mindset, values, purpose, and ultimately our connection to something larger than ourselves.
Well said.
Thanks for guiding us through this exploration. I think our listeners will walk away with some valuable insights and perhaps even a renewed sense of possibility when it comes to their own financial journeys.
I hope so.
And if Golden is right, maybe that shifted perspective is the first step toward breaking free from the poverty trap and creating a more abundant life, not just for ourselves, but for everyone.
It all starts with that first step.
That's a great place to wrap up.
Yeah.
So to all our listeners out there, keep learning, keep growing, and keep striving to create a more abundant life for yourself and for the world around you.
And never give up on your dreams.
We'll see you next time for another deep dive.
See you then, and